Hey there, how's it going, everybody? My name is Carlos Manzanero. I am the head of client education here at Texas Urban Elements. And today we're covering French drain, catch basin, or channel drain. Which one does your yard actually need? So look, here's the deal. Most homeowners hear drainage problem and immediately think the word French drain, but French drain is not a category of solution. It is one specific tool for one specific problem. The wrong tool in the wrong yard wastes your money and leaves you right back where you started. This video is going to show you the difference between those and how to know which one your yard actually needs. Okay, so let's step into the French drain myth and what our Houston reality is. Here's the mistake we see constantly. A homeowner has standing water in their yard, and then the contractor recommended a French drain. The French drain goes in, and then the yard still floods. And the person is left in a space of, well, why is this still happening? Because a French drain is an underground solution. It intercepts water moving through soil beneath the surface. So what does a French drain actually do? It ends up intercepting water that is moving through the soil beneath the surface. If your water is pooling up on top, sitting on clay that it cannot penetrate, a French drain sits below the problem and does nothing. Diagnosis drives the design every single time. So before we talk about any specific tool, you need to know which type of water problem you have. Surface water pools on top of your lawn and you can see it. It drowns grass and breeds mosquitoes. It needs to be collected fast and moved off the surface before it soaks down. Subsurface water is invisible. It often ends up trapped beneath the topsoil in that clay layer, pushing against the slab, causing heavy threatening to your foundation. And what really needs to happen is that it needs to be intercepted underground and relieved. Same word, drainage problem, completely different solution. So we also got to think about the fact that your roof is the biggest water producer on your property. Every storm has thousands of gallons funnel into a handful of downspout exits and dump right next to your foundation. A downspout tie-in captures the water the moment it leaves the gutter. It goes directly into a solid underground pipe before it ever touches your yard. No flower bed washouts, no perimeter flooding, no water pooling at the slab. This is the first fix we look at on on a lot of our property. This is the first fix we look at on almost every property. Then we're going to talk about catch basins. So when water pools in a low spot in your yard, a catch basin is definitely the right tool. It sits flush with the ground at the exact point where water collects. Surface runoff flows into a grate, and then a built-in debris trap catches leaves and yard material before they reach the pipe. The water drops into a solid PVC line and moves underground. The yard drains, the mud disappears, and the space becomes usable again. This is an active collection device placed at the source, not near it. A patio or driveway is not going to absorb a drop. Every inch of rain that hits it becomes fast moving into a sheet of water straight towards your home or towards your lawn, depending on the slope. A channel drain is a long linear grate installed at the edge of your hardscape. It catches the entire width of that sheet of water before it reaches the grass or your foundation. And it handles volume in a way that a round catch basin really can't, because it intercepts across the full edge, not just one single point. And it ends up integrating into a flush hardscape surface, invisible when dry, working hard when it rains. So now let's talk French drainage. Here's where a French drain actually belongs. When water is trapped underground inside of that clay layer, building pressure against your slab, that is a subsurface problem. A French drain is a perforated pipe surrounded by washed gravel buried deep enough to intercept the groundwater before it reaches your foundation. Water seeps into the gravel and enters the pipe and then gets carried away. It relieves the hydrostatic pressure that causes heaving, cracking, and long-term structural damage of something like your foundation. This is the right tool used in the right situation. That distinction is absolutely everything. Now, catching the water is only half the job. Once it enters a catch basin, a channel drain, a downspout tie-in, or a French drain, it has to go somewhere. That somewhere is a smooth wall, solid PVC line. We don't do corrugated flex pipe. We want a solid wall, gravity fed, high volume capacity. Everything connects to it and it carries the water off your property fast. It terminates at a safe engineered exit street curb We're looking for a curb cutoff and a pop-up emitter, right? We never route your water onto a neighbor's property. Every drop gets a legal permanent destination. Now, what's our way? Well, the Texas Urban Elements Diagnostic Blueprint. This is how we approach every property. 4 steps, no guessing. Step 1, we identify source runoff. We track roof runoff, neighbor flow, and the yard slope to find exactly where the water is originating from. Step 2, we check the soil and the saturation. We determine whether your issue is a surface pooling issue, subsurface clay saturation issue, or both. Step 3, this is where we choose our components. We match the right tool to the job, whether it's a catch. Step 3, component selection. We match the right tool, catch basin, channel drain, downspout tie-in, or French drain to your exact problem. Step 4, custom system design. We engineer the full gravity fed layout and confirm the discharge point before anything is built. This is what a real drainage plan looks like. You now know the difference between the tools. You know which problem each one solves, and you know that the wrong tool, even installed perfectly, doesn't fix anything. The next step is having a built to flow blueprint, which is having a plan for your yard. We come out, we diagnose, we design. You get a written plan before you spend $1 on installation. Reach out to us, Texas Urban Elements, 832-304-7007, or check out our website.